Hey guys, Bios Ramos here, and today we're talking about the Miami Dolphins heading up the road and facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa's 3-1, Dolphins are 1-3, and the both teams, one are Florida teams, two, uh, just Dolphins have not been lucky as of late. They start off their season pretty good, getting a win against the Patriots, and has not looked as close as good ever since. And then Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're the defending Super Bowl champions. I mean, they've been looking good. They had that one loss to Los Angeles, and aside from that, they've been pretty much doing what they're supposed to do, keep on getting wins, and that's something the Dolphins hopefully can start doing. This game is going to be a tough one for them to get on that roll, but if they get this one, that's a huge game for the Dolphins and could be a really big momentum shifter in the team's performance. So some news from the Miami Dolphins is Raekwon Davis returns from IR. So he's expected to play this game. And then you have Will Fuller going to IR. He messed up his finger, and it sucks. That's a new Dolphins player receiver that had some high hopes for him in this season and hasn't delivered so far, especially after missing the first two games. First one was a suspension. The second one was a personal matter. And then ever since then, he's done decent, but he hasn't been that go-to guy that the Dolphins were kind of going for. So we'll see how that turns out. Some more injuries. Devontae Parker is listed as questionable, but is expected to play. And then for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have a couple guys out. They have Antoine Winfield Jr., safety, he's out. Patrick O'Connor, defensive end, he's out. And then they have some questionable guys. Jamal Dean, cornerback, Jason Pierre-Paul, linebacker, and Giovanni, running back. Bernard, he is questionable as well. So all those three guys are questionable. Now, it's a tough game, especially when anytime you're playing a defending Super Bowl champion that brings back pretty much all their starters. Yes, I know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are dealing with a depleted secondary, so those are some things to look at. They just signed Richard Sherman last week, and he ended up playing. He played the majority of the game against the Patriots on Sunday Night Football last week, so that's something to take into account that their secondary is not doing so well. / they're not healthy. They lose Sean Murphy Bunting in the first game. Broke his arm or dislocated his arm, something like that. It was a crazy injury, especially seeing the first game of the year. So here are some keys to victory for the Miami Dolphins. They need to keep things consistent offensively. The offense has been a huge struggle of the Miami Dolphins. I mean, you go up 14-0 against the Raiders and end up losing in overtime 28-31. And then same thing happens against the Colts. I mean, not a big lead. You had a 3-point lead, but you had the whole momentum the entire first quarter, and then you let the Colts get back into the game and really just put it on you guys. And then too late into the game, they end up, making something happen, but it's too little too late. So keeping things consistent, continue to get first downs, establish that offensive identity that has yet to happen this entire season. Their identity is a garbage time type of offense. Like you get most of your stuff in garbage time, because leading up to the game, leading up to like the fourth quarter or so, the team is not looking well. So yeah, keep things consistent, establish an offensive identity, run the ball, pass the ball, just do something and do it right. That's been something that's been lacking this entire season so far. Limiting mistakes. They need to, not make stupid turnovers like the Jacoby Brissett one to Darius Leonard last week that almost resulted in a touchdown for the Colts. Then and there, it ended up resulting in a touchdown, but you know what I mean. And penalties. Penalties have been killing the Dolphins. Limiting those. Dolphins were one of the least penalized teams last year, and this year I'm not fully sure on where they stand on that mark, but it's definitely been killing the Dolphins. Stupid, errant penalties that just hurt the team. Defensively, they need to get to Tom Brady. The Dolphins have had very much success against the Patriots and Tom Brady, and now this time, hopefully, it's against the Bucs. But they need to get as much pressure on Tom Brady, because in history, when the Dolphins play Tom Brady, he does not do good, especially when the Dolphins are all up in his face. He makes some mistakes, forces some throws, and hopefully some of that can happen in order for the Dolphins to win. And last but not least, They need to shut down the wide receivers defensively. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have probably one of the best receiving corps in the NFL with Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Antonio Brown. That's just a nasty trio that it's gonna be hard to stop, especially when you have a decent running game with Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones. And then on top of that, you have Gronk, but Gronk is out for this game. He's pretty much suffered a similar injury to Tua, not the same, but I would say it's probably worse. He like cracked a couple of ribs and fractured one, and one punctured his lung and stuff like that. So like a bunch of stuff going on there with Gronk, so it's not doing well for him. But that is something that if the Dolphins could limit their wide receivers and what their contribution to this game is, then they're in for some good luck. But it's not going to be easy. On the game picks, I didn't pick the Dolphins to win just because, it just hasn't looked good for the Dolphins. And just realistically saying, Dolphins are more than likely not going to win this game. But if they can execute some of these things I just mentioned, possibility is there. As a Dolphins fan, I'm always going to root for them to win. But when I'm making those game picks, I'm being realistic and not pick them just for the mere fact that it's just so hard to pick them in this game. Aside from that, they're playing one of the greatest quarterbacks ever in Tom Brady. So it's definitely something to, not scoff at and definitely just try to stop him. We're a quarter way into the season and it hasn't looked good. Some things need to change. Some things need to turn around. They traded away Jakeem Grant to Chicago Bears for a 6th-round pick. Players are he had that muff punt. I think that was like the last straw. And then he had that run play that he just got flung across. So like, it's just a bunch of things. Definitely like Flores, I think it's trying to instill a mindset that like, if you don't perform, we're going to find someone else who could, and you're probably out of the door. So some of those things have to happen in order for a team to, reevaluate itself and start, turning a page to a better performance. So hopefully the Dolphins can do that. I'm really rooting for the Dolphins in this game, but man, it's going to be hard to see another game that, the Dolphins are more than likely going to lose. So hopefully they don't. I'm hoping for the best, but it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and come back tomorrow and check out the post-game review. Later.